Yo, what's going on, man? Today is November the 11th. Happy Monday. Good morning. And welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Mic sound good. Y'all let me know how my mic sound in the chat, man. Appreciate that. And we're going to jump right into it. Try to make the show efficient today. I typically only break down about 3 games, but it's only 5 on the slate. So I figured we could probably dive in all 5. Just going to try to make the show a little bit more efficient. So I'll go through a couple of the comments if there are some. I didn't bet anything yesterday. I know people was looking for me. I probably should address that. I just took a day, man. Took a day off. Didn't bet NFL. Didn't bet NBA. My plays have been like coming up just a tad bit short. Like I gave out a couple plays on Saturday. I like the the Utah Jazz team total to go under against San Antonio. They went over by I think 2 points. I like the over in the Brooklyn and Cleveland game, and Cleveland scores 11 points in the third quarter. The game goes under. Like I really like that play a lot. We made a little bit back because I did send out to the members Utah third quarter. I'm sorry, San Antonio third quarter, and we got a little bit back. But yeah, I just feel like everything is a little bit shorter. It feels like it's easier to bet the NBA live right now, and honestly, if I'm being honest, that might be what I'm doing. So we'll jump into it for today. I'll go through a couple of the comments and then we'll get started. Sandman says, top of the morning, Chris. Let's get it. Drop it down. Says nothing with having a day to rest your soul. Let's get this bread this week, though. I'm right there with you. Drop it down for sure. What's up, Anthony? He says, good morning, Chris. Have yourself a day, sir. Appreciate that. What up, Prolific? Checked in on me yesterday. Appreciate that. My guy Justin, Jose here. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, fellas. Appreciate y'all for tapping in this morning. What up, G-Herd? AB in here. Jacob says Nets money line last night minus 110. Still of my life. We'll see how that goes. What up, Maurice? Yeah, the gang in here. Brian says good morning, Chris. How are you today, buddy? Good day yesterday. Teams seem to be doing what they supposed to do. It depends on the team, Brian. It depends on the team, man. My Lakers did their thing last night. I got a chance to watch that. OKC got smoked. Yeah, the Knicks did not do what they were supposed to yesterday. They gave up 132 points. So I guess it just to a Pacers team that was, Ben Mathurin absolutely went crazy. So it really depends on what team you're talking about that was supposed to do what they're supposed to do. A couple teams got smoked yesterday that weren't supposed to get smoked. Boston was down 10 at the end of the first quarter, 40-30 to Milwaukee Bucks team. They had to fight and claw their way back into that game. So all the teams didn't do what they're supposed to do. But let's jump into it for today, man. Like I said, I'm not going through a recap. I'm not talking about Jackson, but you can check it out if you want. Let's just jump straight into the game, man. Clippers and Thunder, first one on the board for today. And this line is moved. I'm watching the game last night. I see Chet Holmgren go down, and I see him get up, and Isaiah Hartenstein not try to help him, not put any weight on that leg last night. It sucks for Chet Holmgren, man. He's going to be out for a while. Woke up this morning and saw the reports. He's going to be out for a while. So you got a Thunder team on the second leg of a back-to-back. This is also a third game in 4 nights and a fourth game in 6 nights for the Oklahoma City Thunder. You got a Clippers team that's coming in here with the rest advantage. They're double-digit in-season revenge because they got absolutely smoked by this Clipper team, by this Oklahoma City Thunder team last time they played. But it's also a third game in 4 nights for them and a fourth game in 6 nights. The last time these two teams played, real quick, I wanted to get to that because I do think that's pretty important in this matchup. Last time these two teams played, let me say this, man. The NBA is starting to get real janky with the scheduling. It's 5 games today. They all come on at the same time. Every game come on at 8 o'clock. Man, for somebody who tries to watch the games and live bet the games and just try to watch as many teams as possible to absorb as much information as possible, you absolutely hate to see it. I absolutely hate that. But I won't. I'll regress. I digress. Anyway, last time these two teams played was November the 2nd, so it was 9 days ago. And the Clippers the Thunder won the second leg of a back-to-back, and they absolutely smoked the Clippers in that spot. 105-92 in that game. Now this time it's a little bit different because they will be without Chet Holmgren, and now but they still are on the second leg of a back-to-back. I really, really, really want to get there with the over in this game. This total was at 217.5. It's actually back up on the move now. Um, I see 218. I see 219. So total kind of all over the place. But I feel like without Chet Holmgren, the Thunder are not going to be as good defensively. I think that Zubac should absolutely have a field day. They don't have anyone that should be able to slow him down. He only had 9 points and 12 rebounds in the first time these two teams played. And then I was looking at yeah, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if we live in the chat or not. Um, can you guys hear me? I'm good now. All right, cool, 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 cool. I'm not sure what was going on, but I think my internet just flashed and my lights, but it's not. Anyway, back to the handicap here. Um, to me, it just kind of feels like it's an over game. I think we could get there. 217, 218 is not a lot of points in today's NBA. Like I said, without Chet, I think it's an over game. So the system that I had looked at this morning was since the start, just honestly, just the last two seasons. So just the beginning of this year and last year, if you look at a total of 222 or less on the second leg of a back-to-back, 48, 21, and 1 to the over. I think that's about 69% of these games are getting up and over the total. Like I said, with no Chet Holmgren, I think Thunder probably play a little bit faster, less defense, and I like the over here a little bit more than anything else. I'd also be taking the points with the Clippers, but the number has come down just a tad bit too much for my blood. I know without Chet, they still we're gonna be fired up, motivated in this spot. The Clippers are 3-0 straight up and against the spread on the road so far this season. For whatever reason, they play better basketball at the Tua Dome, and they got some impressive wins. They went on the road, beat Golden State. They've been a Denver team that's kind of coming around now. And I can't remember who their other win was, but the Clippers I know that they are 3-0 on the road this season. And all those games have gone under as well, which does kind of scare me off of this one, but I kind of feel like this game could go over. Who did they beat? They beat the Rockets. They beat the Rockets twice. No, I'm sorry, they got the Rockets coming up. They beat the Nuggets, the Warriors, and the Kings. So 3 impressive wins. Defense showed up big time in in all those games. They held each opponent under their team total. 7 feels, man, I don't know about the spread. 7 feels about right. OKC still can win this game and cover this number. They're still a very, very good basketball team, but without Chet, I guess I would be looking towards the Clippers here. Like I said, I do like Zubac. I couldn't find Zubac numbers when I was looking for it last night, but I think that Zubac, I think he eats today. Points plus rebounds, I think would probably be a good play for Zubac. Let me see if I can find the number real quick, and then we'll move it on to the next game. $28.5 for Zubac. That's a tad bit too high for my blood, but 28.5. I think he probably could get there. Points plus rebounds. So that means his points probably sitting at what? 18.5? That's a little high for Zubac. $15.5 points for Ivica Zubac. Rebounds for Zubac sitting at 12.5. That's a lot of rebounds. That's a lot of rebounds for Zubac. All right, let's move over to the next game. I do want to do a little bit more diving on this one, though. So I'm interested in looking at Zubac numbers now. So rebounds this season, he's actually averaging 12, averaging 12.7. So, I mean, I would think that he could get there. He had 12 against them earlier. When he misses, is actually on the hook a lot. Like, he finishes with 12 rebounds. He's finished with 12 rebounds 4 times. He's gone over 12 rebounds 4 times. And he has 2 games on here where he has 9 rebounds against Phoenix and against Philly. I think it's a big game for Zubac today. Clippers play defense. He should be able to board. The rebound chances are there. Looks like he's had 22 or more 3 of the last 4 games. He's playing 35 minutes a game at a minimum. 33 minutes or more last 4 games. Yeah, I think I like Zubac today. Brian says Clippers plus 7 seems doable for the Clips. Open Clips plus 9. So it's crazy, Mark. This actually opened when Zubac, this line was already out yesterday when Chet Holmgren got hurt. The Clippers were laying 10.5. The total was 217.5. Because I immediately went to go look at it. It was on ESPN Bet. It was on DraftKings. And slowly but surely, the money just kept kind of coming in. Now it's all the way down to 7. But this was at 10.5 yesterday. Might have even been 11. When I saw it, it was at 10.5 because the numbers was already out. Ryan says Harden assist under has been hidden. Yeah, I think I would look towards James Harden to go under as well. They do a really good job of strapping up primary ball handlers, and they don't need Chet Holmgren, in my opinion, to do that. They just take the primary ball handler away. So if you look at James Harden, you put his points with his assists. Real quick before we get to the next game. This season, James Harden he's 5 for 10. So he's hit the number is 30.5. Yeah, 30.5. He's hit that number 5 games, missed it 5 games. Against OKC, he had 19 points plus assists, only 12 points and 7 assists. So pretty sure he stayed under both numbers. I'd be going back to James Harden unders. I just feel like they do a really good. I mean, Caruso gonna be guarding them. They got SGA to throw at him. They got Dort to throw at him. I don't think it's James Harden that's gonna kill him. It's probably gonna be somebody like Norman Powell. I think Zubac has a good matchup as well. Jacob says he took the Clips at plus 7.5. I could see it. He says loves Zoo rebounds plus boards today. Down to 7, San says. Yeah, I mean, we're early, right? Like I think it'll close below that. I think it'll close probably 6. Going out already down. The Thunder got the ability to play small and take Zubac out of the game. That's true, but if the Thunder, if the Clippers use Zubac the way that they can, you just really need them to run back down the floor, Tag. But you got a point. That's a point. And the other thing was, when I looked at the Thunder last year on the second leg of back-to-backs, they were good. That's something else I thought about. I was like, man, especially coming off a loss, they're gonna want this one, in my opinion. I think just to kind of put the league on notice that we still gonna be good, even though we don't got our starting center right now. But if I look at the Thunder with no rest last season, I think they were 8-6 straight up, 8-6 against the number, 9-4-1 to the over. Another over trend here, about 70%, 69.2% to the over last season on the second leg of a back-to-back. And if they were at home, 6-2 straight up, 6-2 against the spread on the second leg of back-to-backs. This is not a team that you necessarily want to fade at the crib. 7-2 if you add in the game against the Hawks earlier this season. So they cover the number, they win the game by about 20 points. Now I know that this is different because the Clippers not that bad, but yeah, those are my thoughts. All right, let's move on to the next game. That one took a little bit longer, especially with the power flicking. Brooklyn and the Pelicans is up next. So this is a game I want to go to. Shout out to Money Baller. I want to go to Money Baller real quick. I'm looking at the game last night and I'm thinking to myself, it's got to be Nets or nothing here, right? It's nothing. It's a couple teams that I'm absolutely not betting on right now. And the Wizards are one, and this is another. We'll talk about the Wizards game in a second. This is another one. The Pelicans have been absolutely terrible, man. There's no reason for me to want to take the Pelicans right now. I look at the injury report, and just to make sure I got the updated one. Trey Murphy game time decision. Jordan Hawkins still listed as out. No Herb Jones, no CJ McCollum. Zion now gonna be out for a while. DeJounte Murray's gonna be out. I can't see a reason why you would want to take the Pelicans in this spot. I know that the money's come in on the Nets because I think this was at 1 last night and it's moving to 2. I did see it touch 2.5 as well. But I can't fathom not taking the Brooklyn Nets. They're a much better defensive team. In my opinion, right now, they're a much better offensive team, even though their offense can go stagnant at times. And I know the Pelicans are going to be fired up and motivated and want to get a win. But I can't, not with my money, not the Pelicans. Their defense has been just terrible. I talked about it on Friday, like an Orlando team total over. I think it was like 108.5. They got to 115. Cleveland got to 131. Portland, of all teams, got to 118. Atlanta got to 126. The Pacers got to 118. It's been like 4 historically bad defensive games. They're giving up a ton of offensive rebounds because they don't have a lot of size. I think it's a Brooklyn spot and nothing here. The problem for Brooklyn is it is a third game in 4 nights. They went 2-0 to Charlotte. I'm sorry, to Boston. Then they went 2-0 with Cleveland as well, covered both of those games. I just think that they're a better team right now. They do have to travel, so you got 3 different cities as well because they were in Boston, had to go to Cleveland. Then they get on a plane from Cleveland, go straight to New Orleans. So it is the third game in 4 nights, but it's still Brooklyn and nothing for me, even with the Pelicans having the rest advantage because they haven't played since Friday. I think it's a Pelican spot or nothing for me. Also got to mention this: the trend of the year so far is that the Nets are 10-0 against the spread in the first half. So maybe you just take them early to stay away from them potentially running out of gas late. They aren't the greatest second half team, but they come out balling. So I'd be looking at Nets early, but I kind of feel like they can win the game too. Pelicans are 5-5 against the spread in the first half, only 2-8 on the season, whereas the Nets are 8-2 on the season. I kind of think it's a Brooklyn spot, even on the road. Only way I'm looking at it. Let's see. What's up, Thomas? Nets +2 for Kyra. Jacob says let's lock in that. He says let's money line the Nets first half spread. I like that a lot. Mark says Nets double result. Yeah, I don't think you overthink this one. I'm with you guys here. Brian says Nets first half, full game right until it doesn't work. Even with them being a favorite, I kind of agree. Nets first half spread undefeated on the season. That's a fact. G. Harry says Nets points or pass here. I can't quite get there with the Pelicans, man. Like, this is a good team. This is a depleted team. And I expect them to be public today. I absolutely do. Pelicans have to be healthy. I agree with that. Yeah, so it sounds like we're on the consensus here. If it's Nets or nothing. Nets or nothing. Michael says either or over Cleveland or over San Antonio in a parlay. I don't really parlay too much. My wrong person to ask about a parlay. Let's keep it moving. Next game up, we got Wizards and the Rockets. 13.5 is the number for the Rockets. And I'm thinking last night, because both of these teams played last night, for people who don't know, the Wizards were in Orlando. They got smoked. They kept it close early. I think they were down by like 6, 7, 8 at halftime. And then they absolutely get the doors blew off of them late by the Orlando Magic. And then you had the Rockets, who were in Detroit yesterday. They ended up winning that game, but it was a tough one. They ended up winning the game by 2 points. Now they come from Detroit all the way back to Houston, laying 13.5. That's a humongous number. So for the Wizards, it's the second leg of a back-to-back third game of 4 nights. For the Rockets, it's second and third and fourth, and fourth and sixth. So this was another game where I kind of thought over. I think the Rockets will be able to score. I think their defense won't be as locked in because the Wizards will struggle to score. Because the Wizards, you just overlook the Wizards. It's a non-conference game. You laying 13 points. And it's not like they're coming off a loss. So I can see them, kind of pushing the pace. Both teams kind of pushing the pace. The Wizards play at the fastest pace in the league right now. The Rockets don't play as fast, but against the Wizards, like, why not play fast? I think they can get whatever it is that they want. Fred VanVleet, I think, can get however many assists he want. Yesterday in my notes, when I was capping the game, I wrote down Franz Wagner, his assists. They continue to go over without Paolo, and he was in a very good, advantageous matchup yesterday. He finished with 7. I didn't even play it, but he finished with 7. So I think Fred VanVleet had a ball in his hands a lot today. He probably goes up and over his assists if I'm looking to play a player prop in this one. Sengun could eat like it. Jalen Green could have 40. Like, it's a lot that could happen in this game. So I also looked at, just because I thought it was a tad bit disrespectful, I'm like, let me find a disrespectful trend. So I looked at unrested unrested favorites laying 13 or more, because 13 is a lot to lay when you don't even have rest. So unrested favorites laying 13 or more that also had to travel from, so their last game is not in the same arena as their game that they are currently going to play. 91, 80, and 1 against the number. That's about 54%. 9 and 6 against the spread since 2018, and they're also 10-4-1 to the over since 2018. So this was a spot where I think Houston, could score 125, 130. I was looking into the Wizards this morning, and they have given up. I think the team total for the Rockets is 119.5. The Wizards gave up 121 to the Magic last night, 128 to the Grizzlies, 125 to the Warriors, 118 to the Heat, who struggle offensively, 120 and 119 to the Hawks, 135 to the Cavs, and 122 to the Celtics. So it's over or nothing for me. Houston team total at 119.5 makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, if you want to stay away from a huge number on the spread like this. But honestly, I think they can cover the number as well. When I look at, just the difference between the Wizards and their opponents in the last few games, they lost by 27 last night to the Magic. They lost by 24 to the Grizzlies, 13 to the Wizards, and they lost by 20 to the Heat as well. So since they played the Hawks, every single loss has been by 13 points or more, and that's right where this spread is. That's what I got for you guys on this one. I haven't made an official play though. Kara says she's on the Rockies as well. What's up to my guy Keith? He says the Wizards games are 2-0 this season to the over when facing an opponent on the second leg of a back-to-back with travel. What database can I use to research this even further? You can use Killer Sports, or you can use Give Me the Dog, but you just got to know the parameters. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Herb says Rockets had to travel. The Washington Wizards had to travel too. They had to travel from Orlando to Houston. So I mean, it's probably about the same distance for both teams. And of course, I think Kyle Kuzma's still out as well. I know Bud Carrington was listed as questionable yesterday. He ended up playing. I think he had a solid game in the first half. It wasn't until the second half that they actually got blew out. And that's what it is with the Wizards. Like, they come out and compete early. It's typically the third and fourth quarter where they can't keep up. Brian says Rockets minus 13, but there's better games. G Herb says Wizards are terrible, but 13.5 on the first day home is a lot of points. It is a lot of points. I'm with you there. LJ says, what up, Chris? Rockets first half for him. He says the Wizards are 1-7 against the spread in the first half. Okay. What up, Helping Hand? Since he caught it live. Let's keep pushing to the next game. What up, Frankie? Mind everybody hit the like button. Appreciate that. And Jacob says bet Jordan Poole under on his rebounds and assists. I could absolutely see that. This is a really good rebounding team. The Rockets are. And Jordan Poole, real quick, because I like this look a lot, Jacob. I'm gonna write this down and look a little bit deeper into it. I bet Jordan Poole under one game earlier this season when they were playing Golden State. And that was a winner. I haven't really paid too much attention to it since. So on the season, Jordan Poole is, let's see, rebounds and assists, and then we'll keep it moving to the next game. On the season, Jordan Poole is, God, see why Jacob like it. Shout out to Jacob. He's only hit this line. He's only hit this line one time in 8 games this season. Has Jordan Poole rebounds and assists number is 7.5. He had 5 yesterday. He had four rebounds and 1 assist. I think you just take the assist under 2. Like, this could be 2 plays here, Jacob. Like, he's not getting boards. You're right, but he also not getting assists. What's his assist line? He's only hit the line one time. No way I could talk you off at all, especially on the second leg of a back-to-back with a 13-point spread. They potentially get blown out tonight. I like this one a lot. Jordan Poole, I probably add the points too. I don't think he's gonna be able to score either. Not if they put Dylan Brooks, big bad Dylan Brooks on him. Under 7.5 rebounds and assists. Shout out to Jacob in the chat. He says got them both. I love it. He says I also okay is under 4.5 assists. Yeah, I like that. I like both of these a lot. Shout out to Jacob for sharing that in the chat. He's over in 3 of his 8 games so far on this assist. He has 6, 5, and 9. The 9 came against Atlanta, which makes a lot of sense. 4 straight games he's had 3, 1, and 1 assists for Mr. Jordan Poole. The potential assists have not been there either. He had none yesterday, which is crazy. He had 5 against the Grizzlies. He had 6 against the Golden State Warriors. So yeah, that makes a ton of sense. You can't get 5 assists if you only got 5 potential assists. Most of the time it don't work like that. So love that look a lot. Shout out to Jacob for sharing that in the chat. All right, next one. Let's move over to the Cavs and the Bulls. So you got a Bulls team that's getting, I think this was 7.5. Well, 7.5 when I looked at it right before I started the show. It's I saw it moving to 8. The total in this one I think has trickled up a little bit as well. So let's go injury report first. On the Cleveland side, I think everybody should be good outside of Imani Bates and Max Strus, who haven't played yet this. I don't think either one of those have played this season. For Chicago, you got Zach LaVine listed as probable. He has missed I think the last 2 straight games, last 3 straight games, my fault, with the right abductor strain. But it looks like they're gonna get him back tonight. So you got a Cleveland team that should be a little bit tired in this spot. Not to say I'm endorsing the Bulls. Don't get it twisted. I want nothing to do with Chicago either. Even though they did come back like I thought they would beat Atlanta on Saturday. Atlanta was in a really bad, really tough spot. So Cleveland, 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6 nights. The Bulls coming off a win as a dog because they beat Atlanta outright in Atlanta. And it's also a 4th game in 6 nights for them as well. So I think it's a spot where we see points. I know it's a high total. Like, I was hesitant to take the over in the game against the Cleveland. I'm sorry, I did take the over in the Cleveland game, and that one bit me in the butt. But I was hesitant to take the over in Chicago and Atlanta the other day. But this is a game I kind of do think we see points in. It's real easy for a game to go under when you got a total this high. Like, all you need is 1 poor quarter from a team. But Chicago, if we look at them, we know that they've been one of the faster paced teams in the NBA. Right now, they're second. And I mean, this is the Cavs team that if you want to run, they're cool with running as well. They're 10th in pace. They are also the number 1 offensive rated team in the NBA, number 6 defensive rated team in the NBA. And the Bulls have absolutely been like kind of middle of the pack on both. Offensive rating 22nd, so I guess that is bottom 10. But defensively, they're middle of the pack, about 19th. Chicago struggled in the first half. I thought about that one. They're 3-7 against the number in the first half, are the Bulls. And you got a Cavs team that's 6-4-1 against the spread in the first half. They are 2-1. It feels like for whatever reason when I've been watching the Cavs play, if they have a letdown, it's typically in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. But they've been starting off like fresh out the gun, like shooting, which is why they've covered so many first half spreads so far. About 60. Well, that's 60%. Whereas the Bulls, they only covering 30%. So maybe Cleveland early in this game is the way that I would look. Just because they have, the other day against the Brooklyn Nets, they scored 11 points in the third quarter after beating Golden State the night before. So Cleveland early in this spot would be the way that I would play it. Let's see real quick if I had to get you guys the best number. It looks like the best number right now is -4 on Caesars, -115. Everywhere else has a 4.5. BetMGM has a 4 as well, -115. So two books right now got the best odds. I think Cleveland is winning this game by multiple possessions at halftime. That's the way that I would play it. Let's see. Levine played against Atlanta. He did. I thought he didn't play against Atlanta. But did he come back for that game? Yeah, I think you're right. I think he did play in that game. The update I read was not correct then. Let's see. Cleveland's also won 7 of the last 10. Chicago did cover the last 2 games last season, but this is a different Chicago team in my opinion. You also got a Cleveland team that's 8-0 straight up, 8-2, 10-0 straight up, 8-2 against the spread. Only spreads they didn't cover was against Brooklyn and against New Orleans. They've covered every single spread after that. And if we're following the trends, the Chicago Bulls haven't put together back-to-back wins outside of beating the Memphis Grizzlies and the Orlando Magic. When they win, they typically get smoked afterwards. And they've been an over team, 6-4 to the over so far this season. Real quick, that Atlanta game, Zach LaVine did play. He definitely played. I watched a little bit of that. He had 18 points in that game. I think that only helps the total go up and over. So appreciate Shadow for dropping that. Taylor May says he's going with Cleveland first quarter minus the 2.5. He says they come out the gate hot. Jacob says, I do like that first quarter spread. Yeah, I think so too. LJ likes the first quarter. He says easy. Bulls start slow. AB says Bates ain't played since he was drafted. Nah, don't do my man like that. I like Bates a lot. He played a little bit last year. I don't know if he gonna be able to crack the rotation this year. They got a lot of players in Cleveland. Let's move on to the last game. I think this is the last one on the board, which is Kings and Spurs. So this was the game, man. This was the game that I was gonna bet last night. I just kind of wanted to see where the market was gonna go though. So injury report. Malik Monk, one of the things that kind of held me up. He did go down last night with an ankle injury and did not finish the game. DeMar DeRozan because Sacramento beat Phoenix last night in Phoenix, just FYI. And Malik Monk did limp to the locker room early in the second quarter. So DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox kind of finished it out. This was a spot where I absolutely want to take Sacramento. The reason I haven't placed the bet yet, like I said, I just kind of wanted to see where the market was going to go with them having to go to overtime last night. And you got a San Antonio team that is a tad bit more rested. They're coming off a loss as well, so they'll probably be fired up in this game. They got Devin Vassell back the other day against the Utah Jazz, and it didn't matter. Like they still couldn't score, and they still didn't play any defense in that game. So not the greatest spot for the Kings. It feels like all the good teams are in like a major fatigue spot today. The second leg of back-to-back, coming off the overtime game, flight from Phoenix to San Antonio, which I looked at last night. I think it was 2.5 hours. Second leg of back-to-back overtime. Third game in 4 nights and fourth game in 6 nights. Not the greatest spot for the Kings. San Antonio is coming off a loss, like I said, as a favorite against the Utah Jazz. It's also a fourth game in 6 nights for them as well. Sacramento got Phoenix up next. San Antonio got the Wizards up next. And I think this is the third straight home game for the San Antonio Spurs. When I think about the game, though, I just don't think that San Antonio has enough offense, in my opinion, to win this game. Like right now, they're the 26th offensive rated team in the NBA. They do kind of hang their hats on the defensive end, but the Kings are also 11th in defensive rating, but they're 9th in offensive rating. So their offense has been light years better than Sacramento. I wanted Sacramento to lose last night so I could take them tonight. I thought the Kings would be super motivated in that spot. I don't know, man. I can't trust San Antonio. I think offensively they just really, really struggle. I'll tell you guys what helped me up. I didn't even write this down, but I was looking at teams that were coming off an overtime game and they were coming off a win, and then they were a favorite. Because I think if you come off the overtime game and you lose, it's different. When you come off the overtime and you won, it's kind of like an exhale. Like, man, I'm glad we got that one. We know that if you guys been following the NBA long enough, you got to do media after the game. They probably didn't get to the hotel till 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning. And that can make it tough. Either way, I still feel like there's still no slowing down De'Aaron Fox. There's still no slowing down DeMar DeRozan. You got DeMar DeRozan going back to San Antonio as well. I just kind of feel like it could be a little bit of an Excel spot, which is the reason why I hadn't bet this one. But I did see the line flip. It's flipped to San Antonio laying a point. Now the money's come back in on Sacramento, and I agree. I do think it's a Sacramento spot, even with them being in a major fatigue spot here. The only way I'm looking is Sacramento. I think that they should be able to score the basketball. Defense has been good enough. You really just got to slow down Wemby. Not let Devin Vassell get loose on his second game back. And I think they got enough. I do think they got enough. What are you guys saying here? Brian says Kings money line, Sabonis rebounds. I like it. Jacob says he bet the Kings on the money line. Let's see. Sounds like we're all in agreement here. He says, ain't no way you're gonna bet the team that just lost to the Jazz. That's a fact, Jacob. I'm not thinking about touching them. This would be I hope Sacramento don't let me down, because I really wanted. It's the only way I'm looking, Sacramento in this game. You can get a -1.5 right now. Best money line I see for Sacramento is -120, -125 on Hard Rock, -125 on DraftKings, and a -125 on ESPN Bet. That's the way that I would play it as well. Tag says, be careful with Poole assists, because Brooks going to force the ball out of his hands. But Wiz can't shoot anyway, so maybe, yeah, they can't shoot. This is one of the worst teams in the NBA. We're thinking about being able to score points. The Washington Wizards, and that's why I didn't play the over in the full game, because the Wizards are the 28th offense right now. They're shooting the ball. Effective field goal percentage is 25th. They turn the ball over a lot. 21st in ball security. And I think Houston could just stifle them. Houston's 8th in defensive rating, 6th in effective field goal percentage for their opponent. And the Wizards, where they like to shoot the ball from? The 3-point line. Above the break three, they're number 3 in frequency, 25th in accuracy, though. That's why their team total stays under so often, because they just shoot a lot of threes but don't make them. Houston can be vulnerable to that shot, though. Houston has been one of the worst 3-point defenses in the NBA, 27th right now overall, allowing teams to shoot about 38%. But I don't think that they're gonna be that bad against this team. I don't think the Wizards gonna be able to make threes, in my opinion. And in last 5 games, the Wizards are actually the worst offense. They're worse than the Jazz. 101.6 points per 100 possessions. This is probably why the total is so low. With you right here, Jacob. He says, don't complicate things. Jacob says he likes Sabonis rebounds and the rebounds plus points last night. Mark says Kings money line yesterday. Like it. A lot of people on the Kings. Burns says, I'm on the Spurs. Okay. Let me know why, Burns. Let me know. Mark says no Pop, no Spurs. Who did the Spurs? The Spurs just beat somebody though, didn't they? Without Pop. Oh, the Blazers, and took my money. But that's the Blazers. I'd never do that again. I'm done betting the Blazers unless it's a bet against the Blazers. I'm watching them play Memphis last night. They down by 20 at halftime. I'm like, okay, they about to at least put it together in the third quarter. Into the third quarter, they down by 35. I'm like, damn. They are like, they might be the worst team in basketball. They may be the worst team in basketball. All right, that's that one. What else? Chris Paul assists over 7.5, 7 of the last 10. AB says, I considered that. DeMar was on fire last night. I'm going to need him to be on fire again, Maurice. I'm going to need him to be on fire again. PZ says, I'm waiting on Klay Thompson props to drop tomorrow against the Warriors. Yeah, Klay said it's just going to be another game, regular season game. I don't think he meant it, but he looked like he meant it, though. I think he just BSing us all, honestly. That's going to be an emotional game. They asked Steph about it. I watched that post-game interview last night, too. They're going to do something, to honor him. We do get in-season tournament basketball tomorrow. A bunch of games on. So appreciate you for pointing this out, PZ. I was kind of aware of that, too. Kings, thoughts on the total, Lucas says. The thoughts on this total, only over in my opinion. I know that the Spurs have been struggling to score, but the Kings play fast. I think the Kings, if anything, I'm not taking a team to get stops on the second leg of a back-to-back that's coming off an overtime game. I always think over in those spots. Potentially maybe a first half over, but that's the way I'm always looking. Is towards the over. Like I would be a fool if I thought the Kings was gonna come in here and play defense against the Spurs after beating the Suns last night. That's just not something I want to do. I already think the Kings defense is a little shaky. Even though that game last night with Phoenix did go, I think it went below the total. It finished 211, 222, I think, in regulation, but they ended up having to go to overtime. So it was an under game. But yeah, I'm not playing under. Rice says Spurs looked awful against the Jazz, but all my crews telling me to take them. Let me know what you got, Rice. Let me know what you're seeing. Because I had pulled up something last night that said take Spurs too, but I can't find it anymore. Maybe it's on my phone. I gotta look. Well, RZA says Spurs are nothing. Boy, I can't get there with the Spurs. He says Clippers was plus 9.5 yesterday. No, it's 7. I think the Thunder got no big man. It was 10.5 last night. Woo. Brian says Vassell second game back, expect him to play better. I agree with that. I can see that. Brian says he liked the Spurs plus 1.5. So now we are getting some Spurs love. Without Durant yesterday, Phoenix had a hard time closing. They did. It's a luxury to have a guy like Kevin Durant that you can just throw the ball to in the middle of the floor and he can just rise up and shoot over top of anybody or take one dribble to the left or to the right or do a fadeaway. Like KD is like that, especially at the end of the game. Thunder gonna struggle, RZA says. Yeah, I think they're going to. The numbers say that they don't. I did look into it. I think Zubac has a big game today. I'm only looking towards the Clippers if I'm playing that game though. But I do like I think I like the over a little bit more. Like the Spurs here, Chris, but it's disgusting. I'm not betting the Spurs, man. Y'all, best of luck. Maybe it's the sharp side. I want nothing to do with San Antonio. I was just hoping. I was praying Sacramento lost last night, but they didn't. So, Will RZA says, Chet is the anger of their defense. How do you keep people out of the paint with no size Zubac? You'd be surprised, Will RZA. You'd be surprised what they were able to do without Chet defensively. They just rotate. They double. They'll front the big man. Like, they do all that. So, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily going to be that hard. But I do think the Clippers are the right side in that game. All right, so getting to a quick recap. What I talked about on the show, I think consensus, if I had one best bet, it's Cleveland first half. Minus the 4 is available out there. If I was going to leave you guys with one bet, and this is something that I'm about to start doing a little bit more frequently, at least until we get some more normalcy in the NBA, and maybe it starts tomorrow with the in-season tournament. But I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna make a lot of live bets and share those with the members in the Discord, and of course the members who sign up for my plays. So that's probably the thing that I like the most right now. I think the Jordan Poole. Who mentioned that in the chat? That was Jacob. Jordan Poole under on his rebounds and assists. I think the number is 6.5 for Jordan Poole to stay under. I think that's a solid number as well. but I have not made a bet quite yet. So I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking. But like I said, have not placed anything quite yet. I also think OKC and LAC, the Clippers and OKC, I think they end up over the total as well. I know it's a super low total, but I think that they can score. I think Houston goes over their team total over I think it was 119.5 against a Wizards team that's giving that up every single time. So yeah, we're getting into a quick recap. Here you guys go. Cleveland first half, Jordan Poole under. Shout out to Jacob. Clippers OKC, I think it sneaks over the total. Houston team total over 119.5 to stay away from that 13.5 point spread, but they probably still cover against the Wizards, who haven't lost by less than 13 since they actually won the game outright against Atlanta about 2 weeks ago now, it feels like. So yeah, that's the show, man. Best of luck. Oh, and I didn't even mention Sacramento. Sacramento should be on here as well. I'm only looking towards Sacramento today, even off the overtime game. So that should be here too. Resources, if you guys are interested, is referral codes for everything that I use to handicap sports right here at the bottom. So check these out. Moneyballer, Jackson, and Oz Jam. And that'll be the show for today. Catch you guys in the next one. Best of luck on all your action. And yeah, we out. I'll be back tomorrow.